guys! Yeah, I still don't have an intro. Hey, what's up? Welcome to 2019. Does anyone still care? No. So I thought it could be fun to kick off the new year with like a bookshelf tour. Everyone does bookshelf tours. I kind of think it's like a staple for BookTube. The thing is, I feel like if you're here for the usual bookshelf tour, you're going to be disappointed or confused. I have possibly the weirdest, most diverse in terms of like, not genre, but like actual just type of media that I have on my shelf. Like, that's not a claim I'm going to actively make, but it's going to be a pretty weird shelf tour, so prepare yourself for that. I also don't have one of those like cute booktubery shelf aesthetic things. You'll tell what the aesthetic is when I get there. It's sort of like a weird blend between two things that kind of don't blend well, but like, it's my shelf. So you sick of hearing me ramble? Yeah, maybe. I'm just going to show you my shelf. Oh yeah, that's a great shot. But I don't know how I'm going to be in this one, guys. But this is my top shelf. You can ignore all like the plushies up here. This is my top shelf, and I bet you're thinking, these don't look like normal books. It's because they're not. This is like my video game shelf, which does include a lot of books. Oh my god, I have to get on tiptoes. How's this working? So I don't know like how many games the average booktuber likes to play. I get really invested into the games that I do play, so mainly the BioWare games and the Elder Scrolls games, so anything Dragon Age, Mass Effect or Elder Scrolls. So ignore all the candles. I would have loved to have had these lit, but they're all dead and I don't want to buy like a million batteries. So on the book side of things, I have like, some of these are like game guides and strategy guides, but this one is a collection of like comics, and this is like the complete edition. These ones are like game lore, and in there are a lot of stories and fiction, and like a lot of these are basically laid out like fictional history, so it reads like a history and sometimes it reads like stories and mythology, but it's all the fiction of the games. And then if I move this Kaneki out of the way, I actually have the video game novels at the back here. So I have, oh, I already own this one. Oops, now I own 2 copies. That's my fault. So I own all 5 copies of the Dragon Age novels and then the 2 Elder Scrolls novels. So even though these aren't like books, they're still books and you still like have to read them. So, hey, wow, look at that. It's my anime shelf. I think that's a website. Again, don't know how I'm going to be in frame, but these are all books. These count again as books. I'm not going to linger long on this shelf. These are all comics. And I'm trying to remember, a few friends and I had like a fun way of referring to these type of publications. What did we call them? It was something like self-published comics from independent international artists overseas or something like that. Look, they're Japanese, they're in Japanese. If you know what these are, then you know. So it's like, if you know, you know. You know? And if you don't know, then you probably don't need to know. Again, I can't be in the shot. But this is basically like my manga comics shelf, and this is like officially published stuff. So behind all these like beautiful figurines and whatnot, I have all my manga, or not all my manga, but the manga that I want to display. So I have my Psychopaths, which is in Japanese, and then the like spin-off prequel, which is in English. A bunch of kinky stuff in the middle, and then like series, so stuff like, I've got all of Death Note out, and then like little random ones. But most of my manga is not kept out on the shelf. This is just like all I could fit on this one shelf. And again, this is like a non-shelf, but I do have some magazines and like anime related publications and stuff here, including some art books. And then these, oh my god, these I like to write in. They all look like ye oldie, like used old books, beautiful old books. And I like to use these to write like story ideas and stuff in, and then I keep them on my shelf looking glorious. Okay, cool. Now we're on the floor. But as you can see, there's like a desk in the way. I have like the world's smallest room. If you've seen my room tour, which I wouldn't know why you had, because it's not on this channel, but I have like a really small bedroom. Okay, so this is where you start to get to like actual books, and this again, I organise my shelf how I understand it, but I don't seem to have a brain that works the same as anyone else. So these aren't organised in any particular way other than it's how I understand they're ordered. So they're not ordered by genre or alphabet or colour or favourite or anything. They're just organised how my brain thinks they should be. So I have a lot of books from my childhood over here, and then like some gothy things, some self-published stuff, all of my Terry Pratchett books that I started collecting when I was like teeny tiny, and then realised that I couldn't afford like every single book in the Discworld series because I was like 8 or 9. Then I have a little bit more manga, and then just random stacks. This is like 2 stacks deep of books. Bottom shelf time! Hey, how you doing? So on this section of my bottom shelf I have a load of like really big hardback books. These are kind of just, are these too deep? Yes they are. So yeah, I have like a lot of, what's in the back here? Oh, just random stuff. A lot of Anne Rice, and then some books about law and werewolves and vampires and shit. Yeah, and then these big hardback books. This is like a huge Dragon Age trunk of stuff that I once got. In this middle section, oh, a bookmark, I have this massive, I don't know, what would you call this, like embossed leather, I guess? This big embossed leather book. It's all like parchment inside. This is where I write a lot of my lore, and I do a lot of sketches. I'm not going to open this because it's mainly like maps and fantasy creatures and blah blah blah. A few little gothy novels and stuff at the back. Get this candle out of the way. This was where I kept a load of the Throne of Glass books, and then I moved on onto here. But I've been rereading the Throne of Glass books, so I just didn't put them back. There's Carry On, great book, gonna review that sometime. And then this section was neatly organised until about a week ago. I have 2 art books down here that I want to display somewhere, but I got no room, so they stay there. As I say, all the Throne of Glass books were here, and then a bunch of other books on my TBR were all like organised down here, really neat. But then I started reading the Throne of Glass books, and so everything moved around, and then I bought like another 10, 15 books, so I had to do another massive rejig, and I've kept that haul out of this bookshelf because I don't know where it's going to go just yet. But this was all like so nice and neat. It was like a full series and then like a stack, but it's kind of a mess right now. So like all these books were like kind of somewhere on the shelf. And then the rest is just like junk that I want to keep, like old controllers, and what do you know, a statuette of the Hound from amazing TV series, The Odd Couple, featuring the Hound and Tiny Aria. So wow, yeah, these are my shelves. I'm not sure if there was like any actual point to doing a bookshelf tour, but I figured I'd kind of get it out of the way because now you can see like what I'm dealing with, and also that my room is tiny, and that this is why I don't have like aesthetic backgrounds. So yeah, that was the tour of my bookshelf, if you can kind of like really call it that. Whatever, I like my bookshelf. So I hope you guys enjoyed this weird trek around my shelves, and that everyone's having a good start to 2019. So yeah, that's it for this video. I don't have an outro. Peace out.